From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, there have been some developments in the Gyanvapi case where earlier today there was a representation which had been made a few months back by the Hindu side saying that there should be a survey of the entire Gyanvapi complex. The entire complex, ladies and gentlemen, the Hindu side wanted a very deep archaeology-based, scientific-based analysis of whether there was a temple where a mosque now exists. And that has been rejected today. The Varanasi court said that at this point of time, you cannot have a very deep survey that goes into the entire area when the matter is still before the Supreme Court. What did the Hindu side want? The Hindu side wanted a full survey, an extensive survey in the settlement plot 9130 on your screen out there, which is basically where the Gyanvapi premises are. And the Hindu side says that why don't we just use the highest levels of scientific techniques to find out whether there was a temple where there is now a mosque, because this area is very significant to us. It has a lot to do with Hindu sentiments. So they wanted the use of ground penetrating radars, for example. They wanted georadiology systems to be used. They wanted deep excavation to happen. And they wanted all the areas of that entire premises, including the cellars, domes, chambers, pillars, everything to be checked. Viewers, if you see the attitude of the Hindu side, they believe this was a mandir. They believe that this is one of their holiest places of worship. And what is the Hindu side fighting for? The right to worship in a place which means a lot for the entire Hindu civilization, for all Hindus in India and around the world. What the Muslim side is saying is that it's now a mosque. Don't try to change the way it is. The Hindu side says, do you realize that this is one of our holiest places which was run over by Muslim rulers in the past? And the Muslim side says, does not matter. The fact is that it's a mosque today, and that is the way that it will be. Ladies and gentlemen, what is my view on this matter? Well, I know that the Varanasi court has dismissed in a way what the Hindu side wanted, which is an extensive survey. But what this case and the very fact that a petition was put by the Hindu side before the Varanasi court wanting a scientific survey of the entire premises, what this proves is A, the Hindu side is very confident. B, it's willing to validate what it is saying with way of historical references, back it up with scientific evidence. C, it believes it's going to win the case, that it's got facts on its side. But 4, and most importantly, that there is a lot of sentiment that the Hindu side is carrying in this matter. I know the matter is in the Supreme Court. I don't want to comment further. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think this case cannot go on interminably. We have had a very long-standing legal dispute going on and on and on in the case of Ayodhya. And when legal cases get dragged and they go on for a very long period of time, then angst grows, social tension grows. I think that more and more I think about it, it's become very important for the courts, all the appellate courts, the High Court and the Supreme Court to take a final view on this matter. Because at the end of the day, there are some facts which we cannot deny. The fact that the scientific evidence at this stage suggests that temples were destroyed, that architectural remains, artifacts, inscriptions clearly support the existence of a very, very ancient and very, very significant Hindu temple. Walls were all part of a temple. The sculptures of Hindu deities are found buried under dumped soil. There are Sanskrit and Dravidian inscriptions, and the Sanskrit inscription speaks of Rudra, another name for Lord Shiva. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this means that you can't just wish away what the Hindu side is saying. This is not a theory. And if it is going to be backed by scientific fact, then I think it makes for a very compelling case. The highest courts of the country will deal with the matter. But as of now, we must just remember one thing. The Hindu side has very, very, very strong sentiments, not just legal facts and scientific evidence on its side. We must also learn the lessons of previous conflicts in this country and realize that things can't go on in the courts forever. At some point of time, when matters are in the court of public opinion as well, the sooner the legal system deals with the matter, the better it is. And that is why I'm debating it tonight. Because I believe that such important issues, debate one tonight, viewers, I believe that such important issues need to be dealt with both in the courts and in the courts of public opinion as well. Debate number two this evening, we have another terrible instance, really terrible instance of a Waqf emergency situation in Congress-ruled Karnataka now. Debate 3 this evening. The breaking news last night was the attack on a Rashtriya Rifles vehicle where 2 soldiers died and 2 civilians supporting the army in its efforts were also killed. And I believe that surgical strikes alone are just not enough. At 9:35, I'll take the debate on the Waqf forward in part number 2, because if this continues, it's not just going to be in Congress-ruled states. It's already emerging as a terrible, terrible trend nationally, where any Waqf comes and demands and claims anybody else's land and property. There's a great scare across the country on that. That debate continues at 9:35, and here are the headlines this Friday evening on the debate tonight. Varanasi court dismisses Hindu side's plea for a deeper archaeological survey of India's survey at the Gyanvapi complex. But this is not the end. Armed with their findings, the Hindu side is ready to take it up with the High Court. The Gyanvapi truth is not going away anytime soon. In Karnataka, farmers are sounding the alarm. They allege a massive conspiracy to grab their lands under the Waqf board's name just before the Waqf amendment bill. The BJP is taking on the Congress government in Karnataka, accusing them of pushing Hindu farmers off their land even before the bill is brought in. Four terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir in just 8 days. The Jaish offshoot, PAFF, has claimed the responsibility of the recent terror attack in Kashmir's Baramulla on the Rashtriya Rifles. Families are grieving as the last rites were held after 2 Jawans and 2 porters supporting the Jawans were killed in Gulmarg. This has to stop, and Pakistan must be held accountable once and for all. And ladies and gentlemen, a Varanasi court has denied a fresh archaeological survey of India, survey of the controversial Gyanvapi complex. The Gyanvapi complex, where there are very strong claims of ancient Hindu relics concealed behind the complex, which is the basis of the Hindu argument that this has been one of the most ancient, one of the most important Hindu temples of all time, something the Muslim side opposes. The Hindu side says it has evidence, inscriptions, temple pillars, and it's also saying it's willing to go in for a very, very deep scientific survey. Ladies and gentlemen, as I began by saying, this is a subject of tension. We need to resolve the tension, and the only way to resolve the tension, only way, is to look at the scientific evidence and take a very quick final decision in not the courts of public opinion, but in the courts, all the appellate courts, the High Court, and if required, the Supreme Court.
This structure you see is the controversial Wuzu Khana in Gyanvapi. This is the structure the Hindu side claims is that of a shivling. Today, the Hindu side that has been fighting in court in the Gyanvapi case has suffered a setback. The Varanasi court has rejected their petition for a comprehensive ASI survey of the complex. The litigants had argued that a shivling was located under the mosque's main dome and that the area, including the shivling in Wuzu Khana, required a better survey.
हमारी जो एडिशनल सर्वे की एप्लीकेशन दी गई थी पूरे ज्ञानवापी परिसर का संरक्षण करने के लिए एसआई, उस एप्लीकेशन को कोर्ट ने खारिज कर दिया.
The Hindu side in his petition had also demanded a new archaeological survey of the complex, including the Wuzukhana area. According to them, the previous investigation was incomplete and hence renewed survey by the ASI across the entire premises was required. The Hindu side says it will not give up. It will approach the High Court.
अगला फैसला आप लोग का क्या रहेगा? अगला फैसला इस आदेश के विरुद्ध हम लोग उच्च न्यायालय में जाएंगे.
Who's afraid of a complete survey of all areas in Gyanvapi?
Ladies and gentlemen, this matter is going to go on really, really fast, and there's so much pressure building up. Tariq Lari and Lokesh Jindal, what I find very surprising is that anybody should oppose a scientific survey. If the Hindu side believes that a scientific survey will find out, and if we need to go through geo-penetrating radar, geo-radiology systems, very good excavation, without having any impact on the structure, let me repeat, nobody is breaking a mosque. Nobody is breaking a mosque. Are you breaking a mosque in the process? I want to ask Vishnu Shankar Jain, if you go in for this survey, are you going to break the mosque or damage the mosque?
Not at all.
Are you going to damage the Wuzukhana?
Not at all.
Are you going to damage anything to do with the mosque?
Not at all.
Are you going
Not
to hurt Muslim sentiment in the process of doing so?
Not at all.
Then why should this be opposed, Tariq Lari? Welcome it.
There is no comment on court's order. Whatever the court is giving the order, we accept it. ये हमारा पहले से भी है कि जो भी कोर्ट का ऑर्डर होगा उसको माना जाएगा. इस पे कोई भी कमेंट करने लायक तो बात है नहीं. अभी तो ये लोग आगे जाएंगे. They are going to High Court. They are going to Senior Court. Let's see what's their ruling on that.
No. Why are you opposing? The main question is, why are you opposing scientific, archaeological, deep survey of the whole complex? बताओ जाए ना, as they say, दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो जाए.
आप तारिक अहमद लारी से पूछ रहे हैं कि समाजवादी के नेता से पूछ रहे हैं?
ये
आप एक मुसलमान से
आपको
पूछ रहे हैं
आपके
कि
पार्टी के
समाजवादी
साथ कोई आपके पार्टी के साथ कोई फाइट है इसको लेके?
मैं पूछ रहा हूं कि आप समाजवादी के नेता से पूछ रहे हैं कि तारिक अहमद लारी से पूछ रहे हैं? क्योंकि समाजवादी पार्टी तो कहीं इसमें पार्टी है ही नहीं कोर्ट में, जो आप समाजवादी पार्टी का नाम ले रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल है. समाजवादी पार्टी अंजुमन इंतजामिया मस्जिद कमेटी का समर्थन कर रही है.
Yes.
तो उससे क्या मतलब? उनका समर्थन कर रही है तो उससे क्या मतलब?
उसका मतलब आपको समझा देता हूं. थैंक यू फॉर आस्किंग. उसका मतलब है कि आप आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे पूरे कॉम्प्लेक्स के खिलाफ हैं. ऐसा क्यों?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हम लोग कोर्ट के ऑर्डर को मानेंगे. जो कोर्ट ऑर्डर देगा उस पर सुनवाई होगी, उस पर बात होगी. बात खत्म हो गई. सिंपल है. समाजवादी का एक रूल होता है कि जो कोर्ट का ऑर्डर होगा उसको माना जाएगा. बात खत्म है. यही इंडिया गठबंधन का भी यही है कि जो भी कोर्ट का ऑर्डर होगा उसको माना जाएगा.
Sanju is on the debate. Sanju is also coming on the debate. Ladies and gentlemen, Sanju Verma on a very, very, very critical issue, which is moving very fast. Sanju. Sanju's video froze. Maybe she'll be back now. The issue is very, very sensitive. Vishnu Shankar Jain, now how will you handle the Muslim side? They think you want to damage the structure of the mosque.
See, first of all, Arnab, we have to understand that when we talk about Archaeological Survey of India investigation, ASI is known for protecting the monument. ASI is never known for destroying the monument. There are many monuments in this country which the demand in this country is that it must be protected by the ASI. It must be governed by the rules of the ASI. So when we are talking about the ASI survey, which is an expert body which has been held by the Supreme Court in Ram Mandir's case, you cannot think even...
Louder.
Point number one, we cannot think about destruction or damage to the structure when we are talking about the ASI, because ASI is known for protecting the monument. Point number one. Point number two, Arnab, we have to understand that why the court has rejected this application today. Let me clarify this for you. Point is this, that already the District Court of Varanasi on 21st of July 2023 had directed digging and excavation in the premises in question. This demand, which has been raised today by Mr. Rastogi, was already directed and ordered by the District Judge of Varanasi on 21st of July 2023 in settlement plot number 9130. That issue was raised before the Allahabad High Court by Anjuman Intizamiya and before the Supreme Court. By order of 3rd of August and 4th of August, the Honorable Supreme Court said that do the survey through non-invasive methods without excavation. And the report of the ASI came after doing the survey by non-invasive methods. Now we have moved an application before the Supreme Court that kindly permit us to do the survey by invasive methods, because there are certain areas...
That is the problem. That is the problem. You see, I'll tell you. Why do you need to use an invasive method? Invasive means you will break parts of the mosque.
No. Invasive method means that we are asking for digging. Digging
where? Where? Digging where?
Digging, yes. I'm explaining.
Where?
2 areas we need digging. 2 areas which are very, very important. First is just right of the Vyas Tehkhana. In the GPR survey report has come under that Gyanvapi well is there. A well has been found in the GPR survey by ASI in this report which has been given. So there we need digging, there we need excavation. Apart from that, in the Wazoo tank which you are showing on your screens, we need digging.
You are saying this is the Jyotir, you are saying this is a shivling? You are saying what I am showing right now is a shivling?
Yes.
Is it the original shivling?
Yes, it is a shivling.
Is it the, 1 minute, is it the original shivling?
See, no one can say that it is original or when it was built. We can only know about it when there is an excavation, when there is a survey. The point is that this area has been sealed by the Supreme Court. Now we have already moved an application before the Supreme Court for vacation of the order, and we also have requested the Honorable Supreme Court that please allow us to do digging in this area. Now if you will show the entire structure on your screen, by digging in this Wazoo tank area, there will be no damage to the structure. This is on the first floor of the so-called mosque.
No,
so
is the Wazoo tank, I don't know about Muslim religious practices, is the Wazoo tank a sacred place? Tariq?
No.
Wazoo tank is not a sacred place. You agree with me? Okay, one. So wazoo mein, wazoo khana mein wazoo karte hai, which means there's washing of hands and legs and all which happens there, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, in a place which is not a sacred place, which has no religious significance, why not allow the Hindus to do a little bit of finding out? Wazoo khana to koi religious jagah nahi hai na?
मैं फिर आपसे पूछ रहा हूं,
पूछिए
आप समाजवादी नेता तारिक अहमद लारी से पूछ रहे हैं कि आप तारिक अहमद लारी मुस्लिम से पूछ रहे हैं? आप दो अलग अलग व्यक्ति बैठे हैं यहाँ पे, आप बताइए।
मतलब एक सच बोलेंगे, एक झूठ बोलेंगे?
नहीं, सच दोनों बोलेंगे।
लेकिन
पार्टी लाइन से हट के मैं नहीं बात करूंगा। मैं
सच के दो पहलू होते हैं, सच के दो चेहरे नहीं।
सच का एक ही पहलू है कि हम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर के साथ हैं। कोर्ट का ऑर्डर इसके बरखिलाफ आएगा तो हम उसके साथ हैं, कोर्ट का ऑर्डर उस ऑर्डर के भी बरखिलाफ आएगा तो हम उसके साथ हैं। जो कोर्ट का ऑर्डर आएगा, समाजवादी पार्टी और इंडिया गठबंधन का हर अलायक।
नहीं, माय पॉइंट इज जो वजू खाना है वो रियली सेक्रेट प्लेस नहीं है, तो वहां पे डिगिंग करने
नहीं है बिल्कुल,
तो करने दीजिए ना, उसको क्यों इशू बना रहे हैं? मतलब आप अवॉइड कर रहे हैं, व्हिच मींस आई कैन ओनली कंक्लूड संजू वर्मा कि आप किसी तरह से यू डू नॉट वांट, नो आई गेट अ डिफरेंट फीलिंग, आई गेट अ डिफरेंट फीलिंग, व्हिच मेरे को फीलिंग हो रहा है, my feeling is that, Sanju, that the Muslim side does not want any scientific process to go into details so it does not become conclusive evidence in a court of law. इसको किसी तरह से अवॉइड करने की पूरी कोशिश हो रही है. That's all that I'm seeing here. Sanju, what do you see?
You know, Arnab, my apologies, I got ejected out of the Zoom link. I want to make a couple of very important points. I think Vishnu Jain, he's been at the fulcrum of this entire Gyanvapi issue, and he knows far more than any of us. But let's be very clear, very quickly, the timeline is that on the 21st of July last year, the Archaeological Survey of India conducted a survey, and the findings of the survey were presented to the Varanasi court in a sealed envelope on the 18th of December last year. Point number one. Point number two, now Vijay Rastogi, one of the petitioners, has said the call will be taken as to whether a fresh application will be filed in the district court or the high court. Since the fast track court has said that, nothing doing on this count. The moot point here is this, which Vishnu Jain will be able to corroborate. What is the Hindu side saying? It is saying that if it is not possible to determine whether Swayambhu Jyotirlinga lies beneath the central dome, a trench could be made to reach the sanctum sanctorum of the Adi Vishweshwar temple. However, what has the court said? The Varanasi court has noted that since the Allahabad High Court and the Supreme Court of India have already directed that no excavation or destruction will be done at the survey site, and that the entire survey will be conducted using non-invasive methodology, the said prayer can't be allowed. But my simple point is this, that non-invasive techniques have already been deployed. So
Correct.
What exactly is the problem? Why can't a trench be allowed? That trench will be, crucial in determining whether the Jyotirlinga lies beneath the central dome or not. And if there is ample proof to find that the Jyotirlinga indeed lies beneath the central dome, then there is no doubt that Gyanvapi Mosque was built over an existing Hindu temple way
Correct.
back in the 17th century. It is as simple as that.
So
I think now the courts have to take a call whether using non-invasive methodology, whether using GPR technology, can a trench be constructed to find out the exact location of the Jyotirlinga?
The question is, though it is a fact that Hinduism as a religion is far more ancient than Islam, it's not a question of chronology in this case. Hinduism is far more ancient than Islam. If I were to turn the tables, and say that had there been an ancient mosque, or a medieval mosque, if not ancient, which would have been destroyed by a Hindu king, and on that were to be superimposed a temple, and if a Muslim side were to go and say that, my lord, this is essentially one of our most ancient mosques, and if this had been incidentally, Lokesh, the most ancient mosque or one of the most ancient mosques, over which there was a superimposition, alteration or addition of a Hindu temple. And if a Muslim side had gone, and if there had been a survey, and the initial survey would have proved that yes, a Hindu ruler destroyed a mosque, right? Then there is no case remaining. But if you were to say, I still don't accept it, forget it, leave, get out, I will not accept that it was a mosque, then the Muslim side would say, let's have a wider, if you don't agree with the initial survey, let's have a more detailed survey. And the Hindu side would ask, what detailed survey? You would say, I'll get ground penetrating radars, radiology systems. I'm not going to break your temple, but I will find out if there was a mosque. Then you would say, Lokesh, that in this case, the Muslim side is being very accommodative and very understanding and very sensitive and very empathetic. But don't punish them for doing so. Now the Hindu side is being punished. You are saying you don't accept this survey, then have a bigger survey. No, we won't have a survey. Get lost. Go away. This is hurting the Hindus, And you
No, the Congress
and Congress party has to decide.
All the time.
You still want to
Congress
continue
has been
hurting the
shifting
Hindus?
goalpost.
You want to bulldoze the
I
Hindus?
want to draw your attention to one thing. Recently, when
You want... No, Lokesh, your audio is off.
Arnab, can I just quickly make a point?
No, let him answer this. Let him answer this, and then, yeah.
Arnab, am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, it's an established truth. It's a fact that there existed a temple on which a mosque was built during the 17th century. So there are various literary sources as well as archaeological sources which have been corroborated time and again. So nobody has
Now
raised
you've
any
got
apprehension.
1991 Places of Worship Act.
Absolutely.
I knew that. I knew that.
The whole point is no. Arnab,
I want to make a quick point.
No,
cannot-
let him
we
complete.
cannot
Let him make his
have-
argument. Let him make his argument, Sanju. Let him make his argument.
When there is an act, that is the Places of Worship Act 1991, which is not yet repealed, which exists now, and which is very much constitutional as the Supreme Court has not struck it down, which is very much within the confines of the Constitution of India. So in accordance to that law, in accordance to that act, we must all ensure that no monument is harmed or destroyed or altered in any manner.
So forget
Now, when you're
everything.
talking about-
Forget the fact that Aurangzeb collected jizya, prohibited any celebration of Hindu festivals, and funded campaigns to rape Hindu women. Forget everything. Forget the fact that he destroyed the most ancient Hindu temple.
What nonsense are you
He went
talking
on
about?
military campaigns to destroy temples. What nonsense? Did Aurangzeb not destroy the most prominent Hindu temples?
What nonsense are you talking?
Arnab,
What do you mean by that?
point here.
to you. I want to ask one question to you.
Okay, go on, Lokesh, go on.
Are we supposed to
आप nonsense talking, utter nonsense.
construct the present from the time the Constitution of India came into existence, or are we going to take everybody back to a seamless, an unending form of a, I would
Okay.
say,
Very good,
controversy?
very good.
Come in here, Arnab.
Very good question. One point.
May I
When
come
the
in?
Constitution came into effect, there was no Places of Worship Act. You brought it in.
I need
You
to-
brought it.
is very
You
much-
brought it. You brought it. Did you not bring it in?
I can clarify
Yeah.
this.
कानून है
And the
ना?
Places of Worship
कानून तो है ना?
Act,
जो भी
not
लेकर
being in
आया,
accordance with the
कानून है।
Constitution of India, the Supreme Court would have struck it down. The very fact
You know,
that
this
this
can't
act
be a
exists
rule by the
even today,
opposition, Arnab. Can you please
I would
moderate the
appeal
debate?
to my advocate friend here, if there is any iota of substance in his claims, he should first of all
I can also
find-
argue one thing. I can argue one thing, and before I give it to Sanju, and to
I need to come in.
1 minute. Before I give it to Sanju and Vishnu Shankar, I want to tell you one thing. I want to tell you one thing. I want to tell you one
Why
thing.
is it that
1 minute. Let me say one thing. See, listen. Everybody has sensitivity. Muslim devotees do their ablutions before offering namaz in wazu khana, which means they wash their hands, remove the dirt, and wash their legs and remove the dirt in their legs in the reservoir where Hindus believe there is a shivling. And it is that unhygienic conditions, unclean condition. There are dead fish. People are washing hands and washing legs. कभी सोचिए हिंदुओं की थोड़ी आस्था के बारे में सोचिए कि उनको कैसी लग रही होगी. विष्णु शंकर एंड देन संजू, सोचिए उसके बारे में.
Can I respond, Arnab? I think you have now touched the heart of the matter. And I want to say very strongly today on your channel, what we found on 16th of May 2022 is not a fountain. It is a shivling, it is a shivling, it is a shivling. We need a scientific investigation. The Allahabad High Court directed scientific investigation, ASI investigation of the shivling area on 12th of May 2023. The Honorable Supreme Court stayed the order of the Allahabad High Court on 19th of May 2023. We have moved the Honorable Supreme Court for vacation of the order, and from past 1 year we are waiting. More than 1 year we are waiting for the Supreme Court to take up this matter. Point number 2, Arnab, I want to answer my friend Mr. Lokesh. Please read the judgment of Varanasi Court on 12th of September 2022, wherein the court has held that in this case, Places of Worship Act is not attracted. Please read the order of Allahabad High Court of 20th of May 2023 by Honorable Justice J.J. Munir. wherein he has held that in this case Places of Worship Act is not attracted. Please read the judgment of Honorable Mr. Justice Rohit Ranjan Agarwal on 19th of December.
Respond, Lokesh, respond. Why are you quiet now? Why are you quiet now?
Worship Act is not attracted.
Let him complete. Let him. I have my own doubts.
Arnab, 3 judgments are there in our favor, wherein the courts have held that.
I think Lokesh has given up the argument. I think Lokesh has no counter. Lokesh, do you have a counter?
My dear friend has recently moved a PIL so as to do away with the word secularism.
I'm saying in this case, judgment has already come.
Constitution of India. But my dear friend doesn't know that the term secularism and the very ideal of secularism was inherent and implicit in the Constitution of India.
No, see, Arnab,
Then it need not have been reiterated by the false introduction of the word secularism in the preamble during the emergency. If what you say, the principles of secularism were already enshrined in the fundamental structure of the Constitution, then during the emergency it need not have been brought in through stealth.
Wait. Arnab, let me answer.
Through the 42nd Amendment.
why is he connecting to this debate of Gyanvapi? How you are connecting the word secularism?
Debate on Gyanvapi, he says, the challenge on Gyanvapi from Vishnu Shankar Jain tonight.
Based upon religious
Debate on Gyanvapi, he says.
You have to base your arguments on the constitutional principles of
No, we have to base our arguments on the dharmic principles. Once a temple, all the temple.
It's the laws.
This is Sanatan principle.
It's the principles that are going
Once a temple, always a temple, Arnab. This is Sanatan principle. We have to base our arguments on the basis of dharmic principles.
So tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. Article 25, Article 26 of
Ladies and gentlemen, Sanju is also coming back into the debate, making a comeback to counter Lokesh and Tariq is Sanju. Sanju's making a comeback. Go on, Sanju.
You know, Arnab, I've been waiting for my turn. It's unfair. If you have the BJP, please give us time to speak. You know, let me make one thing very, very clear to Lokesh and to your audience. There are 3 very important proofs which suggest that Gyanvapi mosque was built over a pre-existing Hindu temple. A, you know, the excavations by the Archaeological Survey of India have found old and broken statues of Lord Hanuman, Lord Ganesha and Lord Shiva. Point number 1. Point number 2, you know, more than 12 dozen pillars in 12 rows have inscriptions written in Kannada, in Telugu and in Devanagari script, and they all describe the various forms of Lord Shiva. And point number 3, the Gyanvapi survey has also found that there were Hindu symbols pertaining to the Nandi, pertaining to swastika and Trishul used by Lord Shiva, which were found during the excavations. So you have broken images of Hindu deities, you have Hindu symbols like the swastika and Trishul, and you have pillars with inscription written in Devanagari script. अभी इसके बाद आपको भला कौन सा proof चाहिए? I would just like to end by saying one thing. You know, people have no problem saying that, you know, we need to visit
Okay,
Lumbini
ladies and gentlemen.
because that is the birthplace of Gautam Buddha. People who believe in Jesus say we want to visit Bethlehem. But in a country like India, people still want to argue why should Lord Ram's temple be built at his birthplace in Ayodhya?
I think
why should we worship Lord Shiva at Gyanvapi?
I think if people want a deep scientific survey, it should be welcomed in every part. Nobody should be allowed to break any part of the mosque. But find out what's wrong with that. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Republic has uncovered an explosive story from Karnataka that has gripped the state and beyond. A massive land grab attempt, essentially, allegedly masterminded by the Waqf board with open support from the Congress-led Siddaramaiah government. And this is happening in Karnataka now. You remember we reported something from Kerala some time back. Then we reported how, Badruddin Ajmal said that the Indira Gandhi International Airport and even the land on which Parliament stands is to be owned by the Waqf. And now, at stake is 15,000 acres of Hindu-owned farmland. Here's the story.
After usurping an entire Hindu village in Tamil Nadu, after outrageously claiming that India's parliament stands on Waqf land,
हमने 15 साल 16 साल में रहा हूँ, हर तरफ एक ही आवाज था कि पार्लियामेंट भी खुद पूरा का पूरा इलाका यही वक्फ के प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर बनाया गया.
Now, the Waqf board has allegedly taken away 15,000 acres of Hindu farmland in Karnataka. And what's even more shocking, this aggressive, forceful acquisition has the clear support of Rahul Gandhi's Congress-led government in Karnataka.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ತಾನೇ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಸುಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ? ರೈತರ ಜಮೀನಿರಲಿ, ಯಾವನ ಇರಲಿ, ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇರಲಿ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಾಸು, ಯಾರನ ಇರಲಿ, ರೈತರಿರಲಿ, ಯಾರನ ಇರಲಿ, ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇರಲಿ, ಈಗ ವಫಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು ಗೆಜೆಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ. ಇದು ವಫಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರ್ದು? ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರನ ಇರಲಿ, ಯಾರನ ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಸ್ತಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ, ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಬಾಸ್, ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ತಾನೆ.
This statement from a Congress minister is proof to many that the party is openly sponsoring what is now being called Waqf emergency across Karnataka. Instead of fighting for farmers, Congress has now taken sides to stand with the Waqf board. Farmers allege a conspiracy aimed squarely at Hindu landowners. They claim they are under siege, with multiple notices from tehsildars ordering them to transfer their land titles to the Waqf board.
ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡುವ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಜಯಪುರ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಾಲೂಕುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 2,000-3,000 ರೈತರ ಜಮೀನಿನ ಉತ್ತಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಕಫ್ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮುದ್ರಣಗೊಂಡಿರುವುದು ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಆತಂಕವನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಥ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಥ ಸಚಿವರು ಹಾಗೂ ಶಾಸಕರಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮನವಿಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುವುದರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ
BJP parliamentarian Tejasvi Surya has slammed the Karnataka Congress government, accusing Minority Affairs Minister Zamir Ahmad Khan of executing a calculated assault on Hindu farmers.
Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan recently went on a tour of many districts in Karnataka to register all of these lands in the name of the Waqf board within 15 days. And thereafter, without giving any notices, without giving any opportunity to be heard to any of the farmers, thousands of acres of lands have now been registered in the name of the Waqf board.
With each passing day, Karnataka's farmers say they are losing ground, literally to what they claim is the Waqf board's sinister plot.
I was joined by Member of Parliament Tejasvi Surya. Tejasvi, is the Congress saying that this is Muslim land? Is it basically saying this is Muslim Waqf land?
Yes, and Arnab, the Congress government has also caused changes in the mutation register in the Pahani and other records to that effect. And these farmers, Arnab, have been tilling this land from multiple generations, from 5 to 6 generations at least. And the Waqf has declared, with the support of the Congress government, these very farmers who over 5-6 generations have been tilling this land, who have built temples in this land, whose elders are buried in this land, they have declared these farmers today as illegal encroachers on Waqf property. I request you, I have so much of documents today, many of your reporters were there, I'm sure they would have collected these documents. There are documents from 1905, 1910 that these farmers have brought. Pre-independence documents.
What is their option
prove
now?
that the
What
land
will they
belongs
do
to them.
now?
They are living
What can
in
they
those
do
lands.
now? What can they do now? What option does a poor farmer have? These Waqf boards, government, everyone on one side, what can they do?
Well, I have told all the farmers today to collect all the documents, all the changes that have been effected in the mutation register and bring it to me right after Deepavali. We are going to go to the High Court of Karnataka. We are going to get justice for these farmers. We are going to fight inside of the court and outside of the court. We are going to fight inside of the parliament and outside of the parliament. We are going to make sure that in this winter session of the parliament, we are going to put a full stop to this abuse of power by the Waqf board by amending.
How will you do that when the matter is before the JPC?
Unbridled powers to the Waqf
when the matter is before the JPC, when you are running a coalition government, your hands are tied.
Well, JPC. Not at all, Arnab. I am a part of this JPC. All the allies of the NDA are in full support of the government's amendments. People are aware. We were in Andhra Pradesh, we were in Hyderabad recently. There was a similar delegation of farmers who came and met all of us.
Yeah, but you know, you have
Andhra,
Owaisi and the others saying that we will hit the streets.
Close to 50-60,000
Owaisi
acres
and the
of
others
land,
say we will
villages
hit the
together,
streets.
has
There will
been,
be a public
claimed by
agitation.
Waqf.
Short of threatening violence, they are doing everything. Owaisi, you know, all these people, they say we must all galvanize. The entire
Well,
Muslim
if Mr.
community must
Owaisi
galvanize.
Well, if Mr. Owaisi will hit the streets, so will us. What do you think? We will be mute spectators? Do you think we have given them a veto over everything in this country? Who is Mr. Owaisi and who are they to say that the parliament of this country does not have the sovereignty to pass a particular legislation? Are they questioning the supremacy and the sovereignty of this country's parliament? And I want to remind Mr. Owaisi and those who think like him that their street power is not exclusive to them.
But do you think Rahul Gandhi is behind this attempted takeover of land of Hindus? Or is he in the dark about this? Is this being done at the state government level?
Arnab, there are two dimensions to this. The Waqf Act 1995 was amended in both 95 and 2013, and these amendments are the mischievous amendments. And who made these amendments? It was the very same Congress government. So Rahul Gandhi and his party provided the statutory support under which the Waqf boards across the country are doing this abuse today. So they cannot claim, that their hands are clean. Here in Karnataka, the Congress government, especially Minister Zamir Ahmed Khan, who is the Minority Affairs Minister, has gone around the state, conducted a tour with meetings with deputy commissioners everywhere, and has directed them to register Waqf lands within 15 days, 20 days time, giving them targets. Just 2-3 weeks ago, he was in Vijaypura. He conducted a meeting, and after this meeting, these mutation changes have taken place. And before these farmers met me today, these very same farmers, the same delegation had met with Mr. M.B. Patil, the minister of this Congress government, who is from Vijaypura. They got no justice there, which is why they came and met me today. And why is it that the Congress government in Karnataka is in a hurry now?
So you're saying it's a Congress...
One second, Arnab, one second, please. Why is it that the Congress party in Karnataka, the Congress government in Karnataka is now in a tearing hurry to register all these Waqf claims and effect these revenue record changes? It is because they know that in December, in the winter session of the parliament, the act will be changed. So they want to make the most of the time possible between now and then. Which is why the Minority Affairs Minister has gone about all across the state conducting these meetings. I am going to tweet in while the speech, the press conference he held recently. I am surprised how this did not come to the attention of the national media. He conducted a press conference, and in the press conference he has said that there are thousands of acres of Waqf land on which Waqf has claims in Karnataka, and I have directed deputy commissioners to register these lands within 15 days. And without issuance of notice, without hearing the other side. Lands on which the farmers have been tilling, the farmers have their temples, their homes for hundreds of years. These lands have now been declared as Waqf lands, and these farmers are now termed encroachers. Can you believe this?
So is this Congress government pro-Muslim, anti-Hindu or anti-farmer? In which order would you put it? Pro-Muslim, anti-Hindu or anti-farmer?
All three.
All three. Tejasvi Surya says the present Congress government is pro-Muslim, anti-Hindu and anti-farmer. A very sharp comment made by the young MP who says that if Owaisi hits the streets, he's not going to pull back either. Tejasvi, we're tracking this both on the Republic Network and on Republic Canada. I think we'll have to take it forward in many ways. It seems a matter of great anguish for so many farmers. Thank you, Tejasvi.
Arnab, I have a small request with you.
Yes.
Arnab, I have a small request with you. You and Republic are known for your on-ground reporting and fearless journalism. My request to you is this. Please send your reporter to Bijapura and talk to the farmers and collect the material from ground. you will find 15,000 acres of land is a significant portion of the district's geography. Farmers are living there. Their houses are there. The temples are there. They will show you hundreds of pages of documents.
I know.
From 1905, village maps, mutation registers with their great-grandfather's name registered, their inheritance, the family trees, the division of properties. And now suddenly they will also show you a one-page notice asking them to remove encroachment, go out of the property, issued one-page notice issued by the Waqf board. And upon that, they will also show you how the state government has effected a change in the mutation register.
No, I've seen the documents.
Send your reporters on the ground so that the country is seen.
I will, Tejasvi. I will for sure. Let me tell you, in one case I saw a farmer who has a 3 or 4 acre plot. He has revenue records going up to 1966. And he's also got the one-page notice. So, this is really, creating so much fear and insecurity in the minds of these farmers. For us, it's a big story. Thank you very much, Tejasvi, once again. Tejasvi. Abdul Razak and Atikur Rahman, there's no logic here. There's no logic anymore.
Arnab,
No.
Cooked up story what Tejasvi Surya was talking all this time. No Waqf board has asked no farmer to vacate the land. All that has happened is the Tahsildar has issued notices to 41 farmers to prove ownership of the land.
The Waqf board can issue notice to 140 billion Indians also.
Arnabji, please.
We are all living on Muslim land.
Before this debate gets abusive, let me make one very important point.
What is Muslim in it, Arnab?
What is Muslim in it? Point forward without being heckled by this abusive Congress who knows nothing.
Atikur and Sanju, please.
Television debates. Cannot make my point or not, please.
How are the Muslims earning out of it? What is the word Muslim doing in it? Waqf is a government Waqf board, not a Muslim Waqf board.
Run by Muslims? Run by Muslims or Parsis?
Is the person. Why are you involving the Muslims? The Muslims.
Okay, let me come in and say something. Arnab, can I please come in now? Can you moderate the debate? This is not going anywhere. You have two people from the other side who are making illogical statements without substantiating their reckless comments.
What is the Muslim?
Let me make my comments when you can rebut me. But let me have my say. Please don't start abusing. And please don't start getting rattled, Mr. Atikur Rahman. Let me have my say.
What is the Muslim?
You've decided that you will lose these goods. I will not debate.
What do you mean by saying Muslims
Continue talking.
One minute. Atikur, don't repeat yourself. But I'll tell you one thing. One minute. Sanju, 1 minute. One minute.
No, what do you mean, Sanju, 1 minute? I've barely spoken. You allowed the other side a free run on your shows. For reasons best known to you, Arnab. I'm not being offensive. But let me have my say at least.
No, I want to counter what he said about why is it Muslim. See, you say...
But let me counter
it's just one line. The logic given is Shah Jahan's property is Waqf property. Right? You say Taj Mahal is also your property. On the basis of what? If not a religious claim?
ASIS verified. ASIS verified.
What was Qutub Minar called Vishnu's thumb?
Yeah, just relax, don't push it. 1 minute. One minute. I'm letting Sanju make her point because it's two of you. Now after that you come in.
Thank you.
Sanju.
Arnab, we've had so many debates on this Waqf thing, but your audience needs to know this. I will never get tired of saying that in 1923, there were only about 3,000 Waqf properties. Today, as you and me speak in 2024 October, there are more than 8.7 lakh Waqf properties worth more than 1.2 lakh crore, covering more than 9.4 lakh acres.
Point number one.
And all these properties are being usurped by the Muslim community. Point number 3, Section 3 of the Waqf Act of 1925 says, if the Waqf board deems fit, they can take over any property and the Waqf board is not currently under the jurisdiction of any Indian court. How can
the Muslim community
under the jurisdiction of Indian jurisprudence? That is my limited point. The Waqf cannot be a law unto itself.
Atik.
Congress scared of the Waqf Amendment Bill.
Atik.
Waqf Amendment Bill seeks to
Atikur Rahman.
bring in accountability.
Oh God, the audio is not clear and you need to listen to me now. I'll speak very slowly.
घबराहट क्यों होती है?
Can the audio be higher in the
Why are you encouraging land grabbing by some
I ask you, viewers, wherever you're watching this tonight. I ask you, viewers, wherever you're watching tonight. Are you a homeowner? Do you have anyone in your family who's a homeowner? Do you know how hard they have worked to own land? Be quiet, Atikur, let me listen. Only very lucky Indians own land. Most Indians don't own land.
Please don't scare the people.
Don't speak over me.
People in India, they have their own documents. They own their own homes. Don't scare longer. Please,
can you be
don't
quiet
do it in
and
the
I'll
name of
speak?
Muslims.
Can you be
Do it
quiet
in
and
the
I'll
name of
speak?
the Waqf.
Anyway,
I
Waqf
don't
is
have anything to do
associated
with
with
the
Muslim.
Waqf.
Waqf is not associated with Hindu. Is Waqf a Hindu organization? Is Waqf a Hindu organization or a Muslim organization?
You should be condemning the new amendment that Modi is trying to bring.
खुद का घर वक्त को दे देना।
You should be opposing
उसके बाद यहाँ बैठकर भाषण देना। How dare you say that large parts of Indira Gandhi International Airport belong to the Waqf?
In the name of the
You say
Waqf.
Surat Municipal Corporation belongs to Waqf. You
I
say large
have
parts of
one
Pune
question.
and Parbhani belong
I have
to Waqf.
one question.
Are you guys out of your mind?
I have one
Are you
question,
guys out
please.
of your mind?
1 minute. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. Can you all be quiet? A simple question,
said
viewers.
the army had-
Sanju, now don't do this, please. I'm asking a very elementary question. My question is, suddenly, how come this so-called Waqf board wakes up one day and says, let's take this 15,000 acres of land belonging to Hindu farmers. Just take it away. Just take it away. Give them a notice. Snatch it. No. How come you woke? How come you realize now? Where were you yesterday, day before, a year back? How did you realize this just on the eve of the introduction of the Waqf bill? You think we don't see through it? You think you'll get away? You think you're a law unto yourself? You think you'll do what the hell you want? You think you'll take away the lands of Hindu and Christian farmers and hard-working people?
They have records. They will not prove. If they have records, let them come and prove that it is their land. Nobody is snatching away land. Nobody is grabbing. Nobody is encroaching. All that the Waqf board has sent notice.
If nobody is encroaching, how is it that the Waqf board today has 9.4
Audio is not good.
acres? How is it that the Waqf board
Ladies
has
and gentlemen, a lot of people calling and asking, a lot of people calling me and asking me these days one question. Can my audio be a little clearer? A lot of people ask me one question that, Arnab, we are very worried after seeing your debates, after reading the news. We are homeowners, we are landowners. Can the Waqf come and take our land too? I have no answer. Many people ask, millions of people are asking today, is our land safe? Will my land also be taken away by my Waqf board? Who is this Waqf board that thinks it is bigger than the government of India, bigger than the Supreme Court, a law into itself? Do we have an elected government in our country? And that's the real question people are asking. Will this Waqf board take away my land too? And to that I will answer with a hotter version of this debate at 9:35. I thank you, viewers. And why I believe that just 1 or 2 surgical strikes are no longer enough, why we need a very coordinated military response, and why we need it immediately. When I'm back.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Director, the taste of success.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
मैंने ये आज 30 साल से देख रहा हूं और बेगुनाह मारे जाते हैं और हम पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा बनने वाले नहीं हैं। तो ये कर किस लिए रहे हैं? हमारे मुस्तकबिल को खराब करने के लिए, बर्बाद करने के लिए।
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. I'm too busy, baby, making plans on how to get me one of them manly men. All I want is a touch of love.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, when the 18th unit of the Rashtriya Rifles were on their way back from their patrolling duties close to the LOC at Bhuta Patri, Pakistani trained terrorists with the help of possibly the Pakistan Border Action Team ambushed their convoy. There was a fierce firefight and the coward terrorists scampered into the forest. 28-year-old rifleman Jeevan Singh and 28-year-old Kaisar Ahmad Shah gave up their lives, ensuring that we pushed the Pakistanis back. 30-year-old Naik Achintya Pandit, who is currently battling for life, also did the same. Homes of two porters from Kashmir, Mushtaq Chaudhary and Zahoor Mir, also have coffins reaching their home back tonight. Since 2014, there have been 1,357 incidents of terror in Jammu and Kashmir. 1,357, which have resulted in casualties. Since 2014, there have been 380 civilians killed by the Pakistanis in Jammu and Kashmir. Since 2014, we have 618 of our security personnel, ladies and gentlemen. And the first surgical strike that we conducted on Pakistan, after all of this, was on the 28th of September 2016. And then there was a gap. And the last surgical strike we conducted on Pakistan was about 3 years later, 26th of February 2019, which means today it is more than 2,000 days since we last hammered Pakistan ghar mein ghus ke. In fact, 2,068 days have passed since we hammered the Pakistanis with a surgical strike. Please think about why I'm saying this. What I'm saying tonight is very clear, and I hope you stand with me in this. And we must read the pattern, as these attacks are increasingly desperately as the cover of winter nears, and the Pakistanis will be doing their classic and stale and pathetic trick of trying to push through terrorists en masse into Kashmir, which has been largely peaceful since the blood business of Azadi has been shut down in Jammu and Kashmir, and the lifeline of Islamabad has been asphyxiated. And the question today, as I see it, is very, very clear. It has been 2,068 days since the last surgical strike. We need a more military approach. We need to adopt a much more aggressive strategy militarily to counter Pakistan. Because middle road does not help. Reasoning, rationale, giving them time, opportunity, only putting a little bit of diplomatic pressure does not help. These are Pakistanis we are dealing with. Because the surgical strikes got them creaking quite literally in their boots. But these Pakistanis either need to hear from the might of the Indian Army, the Indian defense, more often in terms of these strikes. Either we have more frequent, though unpredictable surgical strikes, or we need a broader final solution strategy. This middle road will not work because the Modi government has worked hard in defending the democracy in Kashmir. They have done so by revoking 370 and conducting a very successful democratic exercise. They have done so by bringing central schemes, billions of dollars of worth investment, development, roads, and with the acceptability to the people of Kashmir. But at the same principle, the same time, we must do all of this on one side and add our aggression on the other vis-a-vis the Pakistanis. So my point tonight on the nation's sharpest opinion is simple. It's been 2,068 days since we hit them hard the last time. Now either we have more frequent and maybe a series of surgical strikes, or we have a final solution strategy. That will call for a diplomatic work, but principally 80% of that will be a military approach. I believe this is the best time, and we can finish the job fast. Anyone watching the program tonight knows this, that if we deliberate at a time like this, we can finish the job in days, not even weeks. We are calling the global shots. We have incredible influence. We are part of the global power play. And I think the time for the final solution is here. What do you think? Let's debate.
The last salute to the mighty fallen. The Pakistan-sponsored terror outfit is back at it once again.
Pakistan! Pakistan! Pakistan!
7 days, 4 terror attacks. October 18th, one non-local from Bihar mercilessly killed in Shopian. Just 2 days later, on October 20, 7 civilians killed, 5 injured in Ganderbal. October 24, 19-year-old non-local from UP's Bijnor shot at by terrorists. And then, on October 24, 2 army men, 2 army porters killed in action in North Kashmir's Gulmarg. The army says that there are about 120 to 130 terrorists active in the valley.
What actually has happened over the last 5 years in the Jammu and Kashmir is a large number of terrorists, almost 720 have been neutralized. And the residual terrorists today, the agencies, the multi-agency center keeps updating the figures, stand something like 120, 130.
Politicians who once stood pro-Pak line now say Kashmir will not become Pakistan.
मैंने ये आज 30 साल से देख रहा हूं और बेगुनाह मारे जाते हैं और हम पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा बनने वाले नहीं हैं। तो ये कर किस लिए रहे हैं? हमारे मुस्तकबिल को खराब करने के लिए, बर्बाद करने के लिए।
The terror state hasn't learned its lesson from the past, and it's time to hurt the terror state where it hurts them.
So, Uzma Kardar, I don't know what you're trying to prove. You know, yesterday's attack was a direct attack on the Indian Army, on the Rashtriya Rifles unit. So you're calling for a war. And you're declaring war against India. Are you sure you want to do this? By asking your soldiers to attack an Indian Army Rashtriya Rifles unit, you are calling for a war with India. Are you sure you want to do that? Are you truly prepared for our response, for our likely response?
Arnab, what can I say? You know, you people are so obsessed with warmongering, and you call yourself a democracy, but you do not want to talk or negotiate or discuss anything. Straight away, you know, you jump to military, strategies and military options. That shows that India is not a democracy at all. They don't believe in talking and, solving their problems. Now, you see what you're facing in occupied Kashmir. That is of your own making.
Uzmaji, there is a reason for this. There is a reason for this. There is a reason for this. Let me explain to you, and General Bishamba Dayal is joining this debate tonight. I'll just tell you this. Your point to me tonight is that on every issue, we, as India's leading news network, are looking for military options. There is a reason for this. And the reason is, as someone famously said recently, that there are two kinds of countries, right? India is a nation which has an army. You are an army that has a nation.
Oh, well, come on.
So we will only speak to you in military terms.
You've got such distorted concepts. I don't know from where you get them, for God's sake.
I get them from my extremely intelligent mind and my deep reading of Pakistan's history and my curious interest in global geostrategy, for which you are clearly not prepared to debate with me on equal terms. You seem underprepared tonight, Uzma. But you can.
Arnab, for God's sake, you people, you have a one-track mind. Why don't you accept the fact that this is an indigenous freedom movement in occupied Kashmir? You have brought this upon yourself. You have turned
Bishamba Dayal,
biggest jail.
Can we get his audio correct? His audio is not good. General Dayal's audio has to be improved.
You have violated all the human fundamental rights. This is an uprising. It's an indigenous uprising. They don't want you.
We just had an election in Kashmir, and people are voted for the government that they wanted. Terrorism cannot be tolerated.
Both audio and video have to be fixed,
Pakistan is a terror state. Let's accept that.
Please.
The more
Fast.
terrorists you send to us, it will be incumbent on India to eradicate terrorism from Pakistan if you cannot stop. Why is it that the Pakistani army and the Pakistani government failing to deal with terrorism? In fact, you are incumbent in supporting terrorism out of Pakistan.
You are the biggest
Do you
terrorist
expect
of the world.
India
The whole
to remain
world is
quiet?
now saying that
Do
India
you
is
expect
exporting
India to
terrorism.
remain quiet
You're exporting
when terrorists
terrorism to
are killing
America.
our
You're
jawans and our
exporting terrorism
soldiers?
to Britain. You're
India will not
exporting
keep quiet.
terrorism
India will
everywhere in the
eradicate
world.
every
You're the
terrorist.
ones who are known
India
as the
will
biggest terrorists
eradicate
now.
every
It's
terrorist
Audio controls need to be
that is
better.
a threat to India.
No, I think that Uzma, please listen to me.
We are out of
Uzma,
the
please
railway.
listen to me.
And you are now the terrorist.
Uzma ji, please listen to me. I can't hear her. Her audio is not clear in the studio.
Because of this
Can it be
very
increased
reason.
in the studio? Uzma ji, please listen to me. Listen to me. I asked you that if you want to declare war on India, you just think through the likely consequences that you are going to face. That's all.
Listen, we do not fear war. Don't forget Abhinandan, okay? And please remember how your Air Force got a slap on its face. You cannot compete with us. Our armed forces are one of the best in the world, and we do not
what has
fear
happened.
war at
You fixed
all.
the Indian panel.
The number of terrorists we have eliminated.
We are fully
All get
prepared.
out.
Forgotten the number of terrorists we have eliminated that have come from Pakistan. And we will continue to eliminate the
give us
terrorists.
the threat of war, then
And if
we will
Pakistan
sort
continues
you
to
people
support
out.
the terrorists, we
We
will
will sort you
continue
out
to
in a way that you will
eliminate every
remember
single terrorist.
for a long time to come.
Why is
Our
Pakistan
army
refusing
You have to
is
keep the audio
best.
right.
with terrorists?
Uzma, you need to get better
soldiers
Indian panelists
who are
faster,
willing
please.
to sacrifice their lives for their land.
Uzma,
You cannot face them.
Uzma,
cannot
you have
even
just
compete with
admitted,
them.
you have just admitted in your excitement that you have sent your army into Indian territory to attack Rashtriya Rifles personnel, and you have also
we are
said right
ready.
now,
We are ready
you
to
just
face
said
it.
right now that you will follow up by sending more Pakistanis on our soil. May I remind you that what you are saying as a member of parliament from the PMLN, the ruling party, amounts to an act of war against India.
Military strategy, and you are obsessed with the fact
Louder,
that
what is
we
she
are
saying?
going to sort them out, and we will tell them what it is. You people, I mean, that's all you do. You keep on hurling accusations. You keep on hurling threats. That's all you're capable of doing. Nothing else.
No, we are capable of taking you on also, man. We are capable of taking you on also.
What is happening?
We've shown it at numerous times.
Oh no, you have not shown us. It's been 75 long years. You have not shown anything to us.
You won't
We are the
win a
ones who
war
have
with India.
shown
So don't
everything to
even go
you.
down that path.
We are the ones. We are
Correct
the
what
ones
is
who
wrong
put
in
you,
Pakistan
who
if you
has
have
put
the
you
courage
in your,
to do
in
that.
your place.
Correct what is wrong
You
in
could
Pakistan if you
not
have the courage to do that. But you will
could
not.
fulfill your
Pakistan
so-called
depends on
ambitions.
terrorism.
You know,
Pakistan depends on funding that comes from nations that want to keep terrorism alive. And that is the reality
that's
of
what you
Pakistan.
think. That's
But
what you
Pakistan
think.
does not want to accept it.
We don't need
The
any
people of
funds from
Pakistan
any other place.
Okay, I ask you this. General Bishambar Dayal is with us. General Bishambar Dayal, 1 minute. Uzma, General Dayal.
We don't need anybody.
Uzma, viewers,
In fact,
yesterday,
we are helping other countries
yesterday I was,
also,
yesterday,
with, all their,
thank you ma'am, thank you ma'am, thank you. I'll tell you one thing. First of all, it's an act of cowardice when the army comes, supports terrorists and then ambushes. They cannot come in a one-to-one fight, everyone knows that. Second point is that I don't know where Uzma Kardar was on 16th of December 1971, maybe she can tell me. Where were you on 16th of December 1971?
I was watching your army, 2.5 lakh Indian soldiers which you sent to support Mukti Bhani against our Pakistani forces. How you slaughtered our soldiers.
Where were you? Where were you? Where were you when you surrendered?
You saw that. My husband was a POW.
Your husband was caught by us?
I know.
Your husband was caught by us? And was he? Did he also put his guns down? Did he also look down? You have a pic. Did he surrender? Your husband surrendered. You mean your husband surrendered to India? Your husband surrendered to us. Your husband surrendered to us.
Has admitted to it.
Your husband surrendered to us. He's a surrendery.
It was not that.
Remember, all his life he will be known as someone who surrendered.
Army. It was your army and Muhtibani.
But he surrendered. He surrendered. I know you must be feeling bad that he came back as a surrendered man.
Oh no.
He came back a surrendered man.
I think they fought for their country.
Yeah, but he came back a surrendered man.
For their country.
We had pity on him. He surrendered. He surrendered. So always be grateful. Always be grateful. Always be grateful, Uzma.
You be grateful.
Always be grateful. You have personal experience. Your husband had surrendered to India in 1971. Your husband surrendered in 1971. Must hit you hard. It must hurt you. It must hurt you to know he went to war to fight and came back on the basis of our pity.
Your soldiers.
He went to the war to fight and came back as a surrendery who had got our pity. Pity.
Oh, we don't want your pity.
Always. You got it. You may not want, but you took it. You took our pity. You took our pity. Did your husband say, shoot me, but I will not surrender? Did he say to an Indian, shoot me, I will not surrender? Did he refuse to surrender? Why did your husband surrender? Why did your husband surrender? Why did he surrender?
Wrap their bodies of the young men in the...
Why did he surrender? Why did your husband surrender like a coward?
Do not give them their...
Why did your husband surrender on 16th of December 1971? A date you remember very well, Uzma. You will never forget it all your life. Whole life you will not forget 16th December 1971. It is the date your husband and your army surrendered.
My husband was just a captain at that time.
Yeah, a surrendered captain.
He had barely joined
a surrendered captain.
At that time. And you
a defeated and surrendered captain who took India's pity and came back home, defeated and surrendered.
You should be ashamed of yourself. These were this was.
Let me tell you now. Madam, please be quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. General Bishambar Dayal has history in Indian Army. My father was in the Madras Sappers 9 Engineer Regiment, part of the victorious Indian Army of 1971. You, on the other hand, your husband in 1971 surrendered and was defeated and came back because of our pity. Anyway, good luck to you. I understand your personal history in this matter. Now I will, now having understood कि आपको गुस्सा क्यों आता है, हम समझते हैं, हमें बुरा लगता है, क्योंकि आपने कहा कि आपके अपने शौहर एक कैप्टन है जो पाकिस्तान आर्मी में थे, जिन्होंने अपनी बुज़दिली दिखाकर हार कर सरेंडर करके घर वापस आए थे.
All the time
now the point is, General Bishambar Dayal, because they can't face us in a war. Because they can't face us in a war.
Stop dreaming about taking over Pakistan.
I'm not. Now, anyway, your husband was not the only one who surrendered. Many other people surrendered like your husband.
Is invincible. You cannot even hope to compete with the Pakistan.
Anyway, I think I touched a raw nerve. I touched a raw nerve today. I touched a raw nerve in Uzma today. I touched a raw nerve.
I think it's time you should get a reality check.
I've given you a reality check because I made you remember the day your husband surrendered.
No, I will give her a reality check if you request her to be quiet, Arnab. If you can request her to be quiet. Arnab, firstly, it's
one Pakistani guest seems to have run away. One Pakistani guest seems to have run away. Ladies and gentlemen, get him back. Ladies and gentlemen, he's coming back. General Bishambar Dayal, on the debate this evening, what are the choices before us now?
Arnab, it's a proxy war, and a proxy war is a military situation, and it needs a military solution. It's a military problem, it needs a military solution. Now, in proxy war,
I agree.
Either you keep tackling the proxies or you strike at the base. I'm of the firm belief that the Pakistani army, the Pakistani ISI are solely responsible for sponsoring, patronizing, and completely funding, completely supporting the terrorism and this ghastly act which is going on in Jammu and Kashmir to undermine India, to undermine India's democracy, undermine India's development, undermine India's name and fame, which is across the world today. So it needs a military solution. Now, Arnab, if the government of India decides, believe you me, Indian military is capable of resolving this across the border much faster than what we can do within our own population. When in our own population, these cowards, they do these cowardly acts where we do not know. They spring like cockroaches, they spring like mouses, they go back into their holes when they are there. And let me put the record straight to the lady. In 1971, she talks of a captain of her husband who surrendered. We talk of a second lieutenant Arun Khetrapal who won a battle. He sacrificed his life, made the highest sacrifice, but won the battle of Batanta. That young boy was barely out of Indian military academy. That is the difference between Indian.
Well said, sir. Well said. Well said. Well said, sir. Well said. Well said, sir.
That is the difference. That is the critical.
Louder, louder.
And that difference.
Well said, sir. Well said, sir.
Talk about Abhinandan. Don't talk about
Listen to me.
Louder, Gen Bishop, louder. Gen Dayal, louder.
I don't want to make
Increase
it
the audio,
individual.
please, of General Dayal.
Listen, my dear lady. Listen to me. My dear lady, I am still an army officer, a gentleman to the court. I wouldn't like to get indulge in personal. But that is the difference between us and you.
RSS mentality. The Hindutva mentality.
You are fountainhead of terrorism. You're fountainhead of terrorism. You are a failed state. Right. And you are promoting terrorism across the world. You are the fountainhead. We are promoting peace. We are promoting peace and
the Sikh
prosperity.
leadership in America. Look at what you did to the Sikh leadership in Canada.
Nothing.
The governments there are sick and tired of you.
Listen,
they are throwing your high commissioner out.
Listen, you cannot tolerate that Punjab is peaceful,
You are
prosperous.
declared terrorists who are exporting terrorism all over the world.
I wish there was something happening in Punjab. There's nothing. It's more peaceful than any place on the earth. And it is prospering. Right? So please don't bring unwanted subject. The subject is ISI and
The Sikhs don't
Pakistani
want
army.
to stay with you. The Sikhs all over the world, they had a referendum. They said, no, India. We don't want
Mind
to
your
stay
own
with India.
business, yaar, Uzma.
You deal with
Mind your own business. Your husband tried to interfere and had to surrender in 1971.
That is why you're killing Sikhs.
Your husband has surrendered in 1971. You still don't understand. You must mind your own business.
American Sikhs. You are killing British Sikhs. You people are sick. Absolutely now.
In 1971, it was not your husband surrendered. It was your state which spent.
Well, leave my husband out of it. We were just
I didn't say that. You told me. No, 1 minute. I'd leave your husband. No. You said your husband surrendered. You have said on an Indian TV channel that your husband surrendered. I asked you where were you. You said my husband surrendered. I asked you where were you. You said my husband surrendered. आपको अगर याद है कि आपका husband surrendered किया है तो मैं क्या करूं? I asked you 1 minute. This is wrong. No, 1 minute. General Dayal, I asked her 1 minute. General Dayal, I asked her where were you on December 16, 1971? She said that is the day my husband surrendered.
I was studying.
I didn't bring in her husband. She brought her husband into the debate.
So we could not get married, and we got married when he came back.
Nation,
whatever.
It's a great hardship. The way you people, kept our people in as POWs, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Listen. Did I tell you be ashamed of yourself? Listen.
That is the face of India. That is the face of India.
General Dayal.
When a nation surrenders, the children grow like you with this psyche. You people have grown with this psyche of meekness, surrender, cheating, bluffing, creating a wrong picture, creating a wrong narrative.
Shamelessly killed all the Pakistani forces
The
there.
entire state is based on falsehood. Falsehood, you understand?
You wanted East Pakistan to be separated from Pakistan.
Of course we wanted,
and you
of course.
It was your conspiracy.
We would like you to divide
you
into
are the
four.
conspirators.
We will also divide you into four. We will also divide you into four and take POK. Of course we will divide you because you don't deserve to be. You will get divided into 4 states.
What do you
and
deserve?
POK
You
will be
deserve
with
a
us.
medal for exporting
It's a
terrorism all
matter
over
of
the world.
time.
That's
It's
what
a
you
matter of
deserve.
time. It's a matter of
now
time.
the question is, viewers, that I began by saying that by directly targeting the Indian Army, it's a very serious declaration. And the question is whether Pakistan is prepared for the consequences. And I believe...
Are you prepared?
Are
you prepared for the consequences?
1000%.
Don't forget Abhinandan.
1000%. Abhinandan went in like a hero and came back like a hero. And you thought we'll drop a nuclear bomb on you, so you sent him back after giving him a good meal.
Let me remind you that
your minister, your interior minister. 1 minute. Uzma, you talk a lot. Uzma, you talk a lot. Now you listen to me. आप बहुत बोलती हैं, मेरी बात सुनिए. देखिए, आप बहुत बोल रही हैं, मेरी बात सुनिए. आपके मंत्री ने, आप क्या बोलते हैं उर्दू में मंत्री को? आपके मंत्री ने, जो आप मंत्री कहते हैं, उर्दू में क्या कहते हैं आप? आपके मंत्री ने आपके पार्लियामेंट में कहा कि अभिनंदन को छोड़ दो, नहीं तो इंडिया हमको अटैक करेगी, हमारे पास वायरलेस इंफॉर्मेशन आई है. आप डर के मारे आपने उनको हीरो की तरह वापस भेज दिया.
ऐसा नहीं है.
ऐसा ही है. ये वास्तविकता है. वास्तविकता को उर्दू में क्या कहते हैं? रियलिटी.
आप हर वक्त जंग की कहानी करते हैं, तो आपको ख्याल होना चाहिए कि जंग जो है उससे कोई नहीं जीतता.
अभी पीसफुल
लोगों की जाने जाती हैं, उससे खून बहता है.
आपको तो पता ही होगा 1971 में बहुत जाने गई थी, कारगिल के समय भी बहुत जाने गई थी, बहुत पाकिस्तानी खून बहा था.
आपको ह्यूमन लाइफ के साथ कोई प्यार नहीं है. लॉसेस दोनों साइड्स पे होते हैं. आप चाहते हैं लोग.
Now they are trying to pull back. But viewers, I'll tell you, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Irshad, see, this is not a joke. These attacks have happened after in the last 14 days. 14 दिन हो गए Jammu and Kashmir since the new government was formed, and there be 7 attacks. So it is quite clear to us that the attacks have increased after Omar Abdullah has been sworn in as the chief minister.
मेरा नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम था, जिसकी वजह से मैं आपसे बात नहीं कर सका, ना आपको सुन सका.
मुझे लगा आप भाग गए.
मैं आपसे ये बताऊंगा, देखिए ये जो कुछ भागने वाले में से नहीं है, पाकिस्तानी भागते नहीं है. इंशाल्लाह सीना आगे रख के बात करेंगे हम आपसे ये बताएंगे. देखें, पहले तो ये अभिनंदन की बात कर रहे थे. अभिनंदन एक चूहे की तरह हमने गिराया था, और आवाम ने गिराया था, फौज ने भी नहीं गिराया था, और चूहा पकड़ लिया था अपने आप का. और दूसरी बात जो हमारे मंत्री जी की कर रहे हैं, याद सादिक साहब की, उन्होंने एक सियासी बयान दिया था. सियासी बयान होते हैं, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. दूसरी बात ये है, सुने यार, बहुत देर से बात सुन लो. पहले बात लोगों से मार खाई. आप जरा बात सुने, मुझे बोलने दें. अभी दूसरे को भी सुनने का हौसला रखा करें. मुझे बोलने दें, मुझे वो एक मिनट बोलने दें. मैं कह रहा हूँ, 1 मिनट बोलने दें, हौसला रख के सुनने का. खामोश रहे जरा, 1 मिनट के लिए चुप रहे. आप दूसरी बात कर रहे हैं. दूसरी बात, ये चुप कर जाए. 1 मिनट इनको चुप कराए जरा. इनको चुप कराए जरा. ओ यार, मुंह बंद करो अपना. एक चुहे जैसे आप खुद भी हो. 1 मिनट मुंह बंद करें जरा. मुझे बोलने दें, मुझे मौका दें. बहुत देर से आप बोल रहे हैं, बहुत उल्टा सीधा बोल रहे हैं आप. मैं ये कहूंगा, देखिए, आप ये कह रहे हैं 14 दिन में फारूक अब्दुल्ला मुझे बोलने दें. मुझे बोलने तो दें यार. 1 मिनट हौसला रखा करें, बात सुना करें दूसरे की. अभी आप बात कर रहे हैं 14 दिन में जब से फारूक अब्दुल्ला ने हुकूमत संभाली, हमले तेज हो गए. देखिए, मोदी जी को सरकार नहीं मिली कश्मीर में. मैंने परसों भी आपके प्रोग्राम में कहा था, उन्होंने कम से कम कश्मीरियों से बदला डबल शुरू कर दिया. पहले मार तो रहे थे, अब उन्हें मालूम हो गया कि कश्मीरियों ने अपना हक राय दी, अख्तियार किया, और कांग्रेस और दूसरे लोगों ने मिलकर के हुकूमत बनाई. जब हुकूमत मोदी जी की नहीं बनी, बीजेपी की हुकूमत नहीं बनी, उसने इंतशार तो फैलाना है, जुल्म तो करना है कश्मीर.
That we are killing our own people. Can't you shut him up?
Jaldal is on the debate. Jaldal.
Arnab.
Get Usman on the right.
Can you tell this man to shut up? Can you allow such a narrative on our national television channel? These people, firstly, these are terrorists. They sponsor terrorists, they train terrorists, they supported terrorists. And on our national television channel, you allow him to talk this crap. This narrative,
you people are the biggest
that our own people are killing our own people.
Uzma Kardar, see, I'll tell you. First of all, understand it correctly. Uzma, see. It is quite clear to us, and you don't have to be a very well-known geostrategic analyst to say this. One minute. What is clear to me? Uzma, these are desperate acts by you after we have conducted peaceful elections. These are desperate attacks by you. 13 people have been killed. Let me put it in perspective for you. 13 people have been killed in the last 15 days since the assembly election results were announced. General Dayal, let us have no doubt, they hate democracy because they are not a democratic country. They will never be a democratic country. So, in the last 2 weeks, viewers, 7 terror attacks and 13 people killed because Omar Abdullah was elected Chief Minister in an election with the highest voting turnout. Highest voting turnout. What can be bigger testament of the proof of our democratic intent than this, General Dayal? They can't stand it. That's why they attacked our parliament. Our parliament is the symbol of our democracy.
So therefore,
they hate democracy.
And now
and that is what is most sacred to us as a nation.
People. And that is why you're so frustrated. That is why your government is so frustrated. You can't control this internal situation. And this is a freedom fight. This is a freedom movement.
Don't talk like a parrot. You are frustrated. You are falsing tyranny and your
General Dayal, please.
Kashmir, inflicting cruelty on the people of Kashmir.
Arnab, can you just shut her up? Arnab, the issue is, see, I'm an army officer and we generally don't talk over the ladies. Whatever, the lady may be from Pakistan, she may be from anywhere, right? The issue is that this is sponsored terrorism and they are trying to undermine the flourishing democracy in Jammu and Kashmir. And since Pakistani army and Pakistani ISI are clearly and absolutely involved into it, it is time to teach them a lesson. It is time to strike at Pakistani army, at Pakistani ISI. And that is the only language they understand. She is talking of...
Co-powered by...
Because that is what you deserve, because it's a military problem, it is a military solution, and it is a military application, military power application. So it is time to strike at them and strike hard at their armed forces, at their army, at their bases, at the LC. I've been talking that it is time to start operations on the LC and put Pakistan back into the place
yes, sir.
it deserves to be.
Absolutely, sir. We are with you in that.
So scared of our army.
We are with you in that.
Gives you nightmares. You cannot compete with our
ladies and gentlemen.
With our intelligence agencies. Raw is nowhere. Raw is nothing as compared to our
Ladies and gentlemen, I request the Pakistanis to understand the clear message we are sending to them. Uzma Kardar, you have your own personal history here. Your husband tried to be brave and came back as a coward after being defeated and surrendered. You have a personal history, which is why you have a personal animosity towards the Indian Army, which defeated your army and your people, and your husband had to surrender. That is an unfortunate reality. I didn't drag him into the debate, you did. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know what happened in 1971. Yes, we know. Yeah, we know what happened in 1971. You also know what happened in 1971.
To face Pakistan.
You know what happened in 1971. You have a deep understanding of it.
Truth.
And anyway, Uzma, I never hit back personally, so I will not attack you personally, but reality is reality. You will have to deal with your personal issues at a personal level. I thank you, Uzma. It's been a tough evening for you on television. You have my sympathies. I thank you for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm continuing with a big debate on the Waqf emergency. First it was Kerala, now Karnataka. The Waqf is claiming land arbitrarily. The Waqf emergency has gone national. And today it's Kerala and Karnataka. Tomorrow they could snatch away your land as well. Remember, nobody's safe in this kind of a situation. Ladies and gentlemen, as of today, there are more than 3.5 lakh Waqf estates in this country and over 8.7 lakh immovable properties of Waqf. But the digitized records only exist for about 3 lakh properties, which means of the total Waqf properties in the country, the board has digitized records for only 27% of the properties. And yet, when tomorrow the Waqf board comes knocking at your door to claim your property, the onus will be put onto you to prove the ownership and not on them, not on the Waqf board. And that is the problem with this post-colonial, extremely repressive and post-Nehruvian Waqf law. This is not about religious places, viewers. It never has been. It is simply about 1.5 lakh individual parcels of agricultural land, nearly 1 lakh houses, 1 lakh shops, and over 120 Archaeological Survey of India monuments, among many other properties for which the Waqf does not have complete records to even claim ownership. Now they are getting scared. So they're going around making these claims, encroaching on people's land. The problem starts when the people who claim scams in Dharavi redevelopment or go to the Supreme Court to halt the demolition of the illegal houses of criminals stay radio silent on one of the largest emergencies in this country, that is the Waqf emergency, a creation of their own genius. An emergency that has even claimed the land on which the temple of our democracy, our parliament stands. And today they are saying that even the parliament land belongs to us. The land of the airport in Delhi belongs to us. The Taj Mahal land belongs to us. And now they have said in Karnataka, 15,000 acres of land of Hindu farmers belongs to them. Just imagine the insecurity in the hearts of those families whose lands are being taken away or claimed by the Waqf. Put yourself in their shoes and realize this is something we'll have to fight very, very strongly collectively. I'm returning to the debate tonight, on which I've got great reactions so far already. And Shalini Ali, national convener of the Muslim Rashtra Manch, is joined by Tuhin Sena, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Abdul Razak is joined by Syed Asad Abbas. Shalini, this is very, very scary, very scary. Across the country, lands are just being claimed. And we get so many phone calls into Republic saying, help us, save us. And they say, today it is our land, tomorrow it can be yours. The Waqf can come anywhere and say, this is Muslim Waqf land. It's very dangerous. People are very insecure right now. What should be done? Shalini.
See, when the government brings in an amendment act that comes on, and now the JPC is taking the lead on it, this is the need of the hour. When the government is calling on all cards on the board and saying there is a requirement for an amendment, there is a requirement of 44 amendments to be made in that amendment bill, then why is the community not coming forward for it, for the harmony of this country? Let's get back to what you mean, the community spoke about,
excuse me, ma'am.
Syed Asad Abbas is countering. Shalini.
I just started. Let me just begin.
Syed Asad Abbas is countering Shalini. The debate is on a versus format right now. Syed Asad Abbas on the right, please, is countering Shalini on a versus format.
शाहीन जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम पहली बात तो सबसे पहले ये है मैम it is absolutely unfair that you say that the whole community has a problem with it. I'm sorry ma'am, this is a community.
1 minute, Syed, just wait, let her complete. Syed, let her complete. You're on, but let her complete. Go on, Shalini.
Be the voice of
why is there no digitalization post 7
Shalini, louder.
Why do we still don't have digitalization of any properties of the Waqf board which have been utilized or being owned, and what are they being utilized for? Why do we still only have 5 to 6 women members on board of the Waqf board when there is already a provision that women are supposed to?
Shalini, louder.
What is the Waqf board doing? Why are they grabbing everyone's land? Why is it not a challenge for people and democratic India today that a board is existing for the upliftment of the community, for the upliftment of the minority, and yet if an amendment needs to be made, why is it not being made? How can you not have digitalization? Today you have a rickshaw wala taking payments through a Paytm. You have a rickshaw wala taking Paytm payments through Pay-in-4. Why don't we have land details of the Waqf board on the computer, on any server? What utilization is being made, and why is this community still harping upon being the poorest over here? You have to make a change. You have to give the government a chance to call a stickler, use the stick, and make amendments for the community if the community leaders are not coming forward. We don't have a leader for the minorities. Give it that and let the government take a stand for the Waqf amendments to take place. You need to allow democratic India to grow, and for that this community needs to come forward. For that land grabbing, forget about religion, talk about the mafia part of it. We all know that the Waqf land is being taken over by mafias. We know that there are gangsters who take the land, utilize it, put goodwill, and the poor of this community are still suffering. It's about time we make a change.
One statement is not the statement of all of them. Parliament, Taj Mahal, this is Badruddin Ajmal. This is not the whole Muslim community. And also let me bring to your notice, ma'am, in the Karnataka board state of Awqaf, there is a woman representation there. So BJP is not doing anything great.
There are probably
you need to understand
women or 5 women in the entire of India. I don't speak for a particular state.
So stop
I speak for India. I am an Indian citizen. I don't speak for a particular state.
It's okay. I know you speak on behalf of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Today, why do we have to have an amendment which is for sure making it a point to have 2 women members when the provision has already been there?
So you do not speak on behalf of all the Muslims, man. There is enough intellectual presence
and not
of the Muslim community here in India, and they speak for themselves.
Viewers, I need to just give an opportunity to others tonight, including Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Abdul Razak. See, viewers, this has not been made up by me. If I open the phone lines right now, I'll tell you one thing, Tuhin. I'll tell you one thing. Today, if I allow the lines to be open, there is so much pressure on our phone lines right now. I've not even opened the line. People are so worried, and all that people are saying is that how can anybody do this? Our hard-earned property, our land, and some Muslim Waqf board comes and says it is ours. Don't do this.
I would begin by giving you a friendly advice. You have constructed this brilliant, marvelous new studio of Republic on the outskirts of Noida. Keep it out of the sight of Waqf board. Never invite any Waqf board representative to your studio, even for a debate, because next morning they might claim that it is your Republic studio built on their property and you serve it. No, it is not a joke.
Now you're giving them ideas. Now you're giving them ideas.
Arnab, that's a good joke.
No, let Tuhin speak. Let Tuhin speak. That is how arbitrary things have become. Let him speak.
That is how ridiculous, that is how preposterous the behavior of the Waqf board has been. Arnab, they lecherously pry upon properties which definitely don't belong to them. A land in a village in 1,300-year-old temple. Can you imagine Waqf board claiming them? A village in Haryana with a 400-year-old Gurudwara. Can you imagine Waqf board claiming that? They deliberately go after land which does not belong to them.
Louder! 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 Bring Razak down. Louder, Tuhin.
They want to usurp land. They want to usurp land. This professional, this compulsive usurping of land needs to stop. And Arnab, this has only strengthened our resolve to bring the Waqf Amendment Act this December, and it will become a reality no matter what the Abdul Sattar of the world say.
And let me tell you what we say. What do we say? What do we say? What do we say? We say that we, the free, hard-working, law-abiding citizens of this country, refuse to be blackmailed by the Waqf boards, and we refuse to float on an ocean of uncertainty and insecurity, and that we will fight back. and it is totally unfair. This cannot be allowed.
The Congress party has been a notorious enabler, like Zamir Khan, the Congress minister, who has been an enabler in the Vijaypura case, where my heart goes out to the farmers who for the last 100 years have records of 4 generations of mutation records, mutation registers, land records, and yet because of the instructions of Zamir Khan, because of the instructions of Zamir Khan, their land needs to be transferred within 15 days to the Waqf board. This is a shame, this is a pity, and
this is
stop it.
This is propaganda.
We will stop the state. We will put an end to this land mafia behavior.
But then by this logic, is it possible? I'm just asking here. Maharashtra elections are coming up. That means tomorrow Congress can do this in Maharashtra also. If they come to power, they will say, give up all the mandirs, give the land, give the temples, give it to the Waqf board. Rahul Gandhi will say this all to be owned by the Waqf board.
Let us understand this case, Allow me 1 minute. Yes, I will answer you, Arnab. Arnab, there's been an official statement from the Vijaypura Waqf board.
No. What is the Congress party position?
Ms. Tabassum has represented and stated the same. There is an official statement on this, and it's very important for all our respective viewers to know. The land was marked as Waqf property by the state government, and this was documented in the Gazette. However, notices were mistakenly sent to farmers. If they have valid land records, the Waqf board will not take any action against them.
Or if they are valid. So you 1 minute, just one. I understood it. 1 minute. Keep it brief. So Shalini, what he's saying is, Waqf board is so nice. They will come and say, Shalini, Ali, your land is mine. They'll say, no, but it's my land. I have paid for it. I have proven paid tax. They'll say, okay, come to me. I will put my man to decide whether the land is yours or mine.
Under the main concept
it's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff going on, by.
The concept means that you're giving in charity in the name of Allah. But nowhere has it been written that religion comes in and it is only for the welfare of mankind, not for a particular community. You can create
kindly reflect back on the cases.
Out of the Waqf land for the mankind welfare of this country. Now let's come down to having land records. Suppose you are an illiterate farmer who has been living in an area where there has been no digitalization, no education. You are expecting him to bring in land records of 400 years old of his family to come and show and prove that this is what his land. I mean, a poor farmer goes to get his land sold so that he can marry his daughter, and he comes to know this was Waqf property that he was living in. What was the Waqf board doing for so many years? Why today the Waqf board is coming in front in all the states and trying to take
why is the BJP not making a huge deal of this nationally? To him? You put it to the JPC. Since everybody is feeling insecure and Rahul Gandhi wants to give away everyone's land to the Waqf, why aren't you making this a big national issue?
No, of course it's a national issue, and we will make sure that the bill is passed and made into an act in December. But every
you better do, otherwise people will lose their land.
Every time a case erupts, our local leaders take it up aggressively. Today, Tejasvi Surya has taken it up aggressively. You must have seen his video of Tejasvi Surya where he has told people that any further case, any other case which is brought up, his doors are open 24/7. So all BJP leaders are taking it up aggressively across the country, but on a national basis. This will become an act, and it will undo the damage of the 1995 and 2013. Malicious or rather vindictive, amendments brought by the Congress government. And I say this is vindictive. The Congress amendments were vindictive towards the entire Hindu community.
The bill in its present
well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a continuing debate on this, and these issues are best left decided by the courts, and the Waqf can't do this. Viewers, so many of you are telling us we are feeling insecure today. You have a right to. I don't know what's happening in this country. I just don't know why Rahul Gandhi is telling the Congress government to support taking over arbitrarily or making claims on the land of poor farmers in Karnataka. And remember, today it's poor farmers in Karnataka that the Congress is doing this to. Today it could be, tomorrow it could be you, it could be anyone. This is so wrong. This is not secularism. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a huge debate on the Gyanvapi verdict today, and on the other side I will explain what today's verdict in Gyanvapi means for Hindus and as well for the Muslim community. In a few minutes, it's continuing.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Co-powered by Jaguar Bath and Light.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a